So in this demo, we're looking at creating a switch and then setting your server's IP address. So let's have a look at your virtual lab. In the virtual lab, you go into your Hyper-V Manager. From Hyper-V Manager now, remember that when you are installing Active Directory, and if your server does not have an IP address, it will give you an error. So now, if there's no switch there and it shows that it's not connected, sometimes it does not allow you to assign an IP address. So on the right-hand side of my Hyper-V Manager, I can see I've got a virtual switch manager. I click on the virtual switch manager, and initially I had no switches here. Then I created a new virtual switch. So I can click on new virtual switch. I can say internal, because it's only communicating within this virtual computer. It's not going to the internet. So I say internal, and then I say create virtual switch. And then I give it a name so that I understand what is this. So I've already got internal switch there. So I can say internal switch 2. And I say apply. So you don't have switches that are all the same name. You need to give them different names so that when we are networking, then we know both the computers need to be connected to the same switch. So that's the process of creating a switch. Then, if you've installed your server and you didn't have a switch and you said ignore the switch for now, where would you go to set your server to connect to the switch? You simply click on the server. So here you can see I've got a server and a client. I'm going to click on the server, and then I go to its settings on the bottom right-hand side. I click on network adapter, and then I click on the virtual switch here. It was not connected initially. So now I click on internal switch, the one that I've created. So what have I done now? I've connected my server to the virtual switch. That's what I'm doing here. I'm connecting my server to the virtual switch. So I've connected my server to the virtual switch. I say OK. And then the last thing I need to do is ensure that I have a static IP address on my server. So I go into my virtual computer, and I go to its network properties. So I'm going to go to Network and Sharing Center, and I'm going to go to the Ethernet properties, IP version 4 properties, and can you see I've set mine 192.168.10.1. So you would have set your IP address for your server. This is all tasks that you do before you install Active Directory. Okay, so when you are setting up, remember it said 4 marks for installing the server operating system, right? So you install the server, you show the system properties, you show the IP address, you show the computer name that has been changed. You've done all of this previously in network architecture. Can you see it's a follow? It's a we're following on. We're building on the knowledge that you've already done in your first year, in the second year. So then you set a static IP address, and then it should work your Active Directory installation. Any other questions? Okay, so I can close this demo then.